It's an emotional day for Donna Williams. She's back at the same place where 25 years ago her little girl was taken.
Her last words that I heard from her is, "Okay, Mommy, I will. I love you, Mommy." And that was the last I ever heard her, and I miss her voice.
While the years have gone by for Donna, it feels like yesterday.
I remember everything about her. There's nothing I have forgotten about her, because she is the love of my life.
9-year-old Amber Hagerman was riding her bike in the parking lot of a grocery store in Arlington when police say a man in a black truck took her. An elderly man in his backyard saw the suspect grab Amber under her arms.
He described the suspect carrying Amber in that same position as she kicked and screamed.
There was a quick police response, but Amber wasn't found until 4 days later by a man walking his dog near a creek behind an apartment complex. Despite more than 5,500 leads, her killer was never found. There was little forensic evidence. A thunderstorm on the night she was found washed away most of it.
The condition that we found Amber, it was difficult to collect some evidence.
But detectives say with new DNA technology, there is hope.
And we're excited because this year there is new technology when it comes to DNA, and we're excited about this year being able to submit that.
Amber's death left behind a legacy, the Amber Alert. It's credited for saving hundreds of abducted children.
I'm very, very proud of it, because it is help saving our children's lives. It's helped bringing our children back to Mommy and Daddy.
In 25 years, there has only been one eyewitness that has come forward, but detectives believe that there may be more witnesses, especially people that might have been in this now abandoned laundromat from the immigrant community. They want those people to come forward, and they say you should not fear your immigration status. They think that you might have the key that unlocks this case. In Arlington, I'm Rebecca Lopez.
Okay, so sorry about that. I thought it was important to bring awareness to why we have the Amber Alert. And this little lady here, and I'll move my head out of the way. This little lady here is the reason that we have Amber Alerts. And over here. Sorry. So I had another video I want to pull up so I can go to work, right, guys?
Wasn't aware or didn't know who Amber really was.
Breaking news first at 5, an Amber Alert issued in Utah for 2 young girls.
We are following breaking news out of South Suburban Markham. An Amber Alert is in effect for 2 children believed to be taken by their father.
A nationwide Amber Alert. Authorities now searching for 2 Texas sisters.
Tennessee, the race to save a 2-year-old girl. An Amber Alert issued, a driver trailing.
And that breaking news is out of Polk County. At this hour, an Amber Alert issued for a missing 4-year-old.
Hey guys, what is up? Thanks for coming back to my channel for another video, guys. Or if you are new, welcome to my channel. I'm Darlene and I'm really glad to have you here. So for today's video, I'm going to be covering the case of Amber Hagerman. And I'm pretty sure you guys know who Amber is or the Amber Alert. So this
And she did this video back in 2018. I'll grab her link and drop it. If it'll let me, I'll probably have to grab the whole link, but I'll drop it in the description out of respect so you guys can go and check out her channel. This wasn't the video I had intended, but since it did have some good information, we'll go ahead and watch it.
This is going to explain all about the Amber Alert, what happened to Amber, and funny story is I was obviously know what Amber Alert is, but I didn't really remember the story behind it because this happened when I was like 3 years old, so I obviously wasn't aware or didn't know who Amber really was. So let's just move on to the case of Amber. On the afternoon of January 13th of 1996, Amber was 9 years old, her brother Ricky, who was 5, and her mother arrived at their grandparents' house for a visit. I don't know if they took their bikes with them or maybe they had their bike at their grandparents' house, but when they arrived, after they said their hellos, they really wanted to ride their bikes. Amber's mother said they could only ride their bikes maybe about a block down, and that was it. So Amber and her brother went riding their bikes. However, they ended up going to a local abandoned grocery store called the Winn-Dixie, and this was a very popular spot where kids would go to like ride their bikes and just hang out. A little while after they were there, Amber's brother started to get really nervous because he didn't want to get in trouble that they went further than they were supposed to, so he begged his sister to leave. She decided that she wanted to stay and ride her bike a little bit longer, so he ended up leaving without her. Minutes after Ricky left, Amber was abducted. Ricky returned home without Amber. The grandparents and his mom questioned him, wondering where Amber was. He told them what happened and how they went to the Winn-Dixie. They immediately said, go back and get your sister, so he rode his bike. He went back to the store to go get his sister to come back home. Unfortunately, when Ricky got there was no sign of Amber, so he got back on his bike, went back home, and when he came back empty-handed one more time, the grandpa got really worried, so he got in his truck and decided to go and get Amber himself. When he arrived to the abandoned grocery store, police were actually already there investigating and searching for evidence, and sadly, Amber's bike was found lying on the ground. The reason why police were already there was because there was a witness who actually saw the abduction happen. His name was Jim Kevill, I believe. In the backyard of his home, he actually saw and heard what happened. I'm going to read you guys exactly what he said to the police. Jim said, I saw Amber riding up and down. She was by herself. I saw this pickup truck. He pulled up, jumped out, and grabbed her. When she screamed, I figured the police ought to know about it, so I called them. The police arrived literally moments later to the scene. Jim also said that the pickup truck was either a dark blue or black, and that the man that abducted Amber was about 25 to 40 years old, Hispanic or white, with a medium build. The search for Amber lasted about 4 days, and police, FBI, and many volunteers joined together for a full-wide search for Amber. On the 4th day, a man was walking his dog. I believe it was in his apartment complex. The dog began to bark and act really strange in the direction of a creek bed. That's when he went down to see and actually discovered Amber's body. The autopsy revealed that she had been alive for 2 days after her abduction, and that she was sexually assaulted many times. She was covered in blood and bruises and stab wounds, and her throat was slit. When her body was found, she was completely naked except for one sock. Unfortunately, since her body was found in running water, all of the evidence was washed away. So many leads that were investigated, there was up to 8,000 leads investigated, and unfortunately in 1999 this case went cold. So now let's move on into the theories. The only really solid theory was what the witness Jim gave, and even though it was like kind of a little bit all over the place, and I'm sure it was from a distance where he was standing from the actual park, so we didn't get like a really good view of the van either. It wasn't that helpful, but police were still very thankful, and unfortunately this person was never found. And the question that I have is, I understand it was a different time back in 1996, but I don't understand how he was like not connected somehow.
And that's not what I wanted to watch. So we'll watch this one.
There is an Amber Alert.
Amber Alert.
Amber Alert. Amber Alert.
Amber Alert.
This Amber Alert. An Amber Alert issued.
Amber Alert issued this weekend.
An Amber Alert has been issued. But an Amber Alert was issued for earlier today.
An Amber Alert issued for a missing 2-year-old girl.
Amber Alerts are plastered on signs above highways.
Amber Alert.
Amber.
Amber. Amber.
Amber.
Amber.
Amber.
She always called him Bubba. He'd always call her Sissy, you know, it was always Sissy and Bubba.
I had to get A on a row, A, B on a row, and I had to do good things in the class and help.
So you make good grades?
Look, Mom, I made this for you.
Thank you, that's pretty. Dear Mom, this is for you that I made at school. I love you a lot. Love, Amber. Love you.
Whoa, this is heavy.
Sounds for Mommy. It is. Oh. The last thing I told Amber was, you know, you stay with your little brother and you'll come right back. She was riding her bicycle. She turns around. She said, okay, Mommy, I love you. And that was the last I heard her voice. 7 minutes later, she was gone. She was nowhere to be found.
just kind of hope I can, go back in time and change things, but I can't. So, I mean, I was so young. I knew she was gone, but I didn't know why. I didn't very much understand it. But I just knew a bad man took my sister.
You were riding with her?
Yes.
That day you guys were riding through the parking lot. Can you remember someone pulling up, or what do you remember happened?
We were supposed to go around the block, and I was scared to get in trouble, and I said, let's go back, and I took off, and then from the time I got to the house, my grandfather asked me where was my sister, and we went back to get her, and she was gone that fast.
8 special reports.
We have late developments into the Channel 8 newsroom, and it is a rather ominous development in the case of 9-year-old Amber Hagerman.
Apparently he was walking our dog, and he had looked over the fence and had saw something white, looked again and noticed that it was a body.
I immediately knew something was wrong. And they started getting the yellow tape out, put it around my mom's home. I just went crazy then. I said, no, you're not going to tell me something that I don't want to hear. They told me one thing I can't do was pick her up and hold her like a mom would her child, because she was almost decapitated.
Donna, I'm so sorry.
And I miss that. I wanted to hold her, but I got to hold her little hands and told her, it's okay. Mommy's here now. It's okay.
Our little Amber's a little angel in heaven now. We're gonna miss her.
It's filthy as could be because she wore it Thursday, but I don't think I want to wash it. It's got her. Tell her to get in the bathtub. It's time to brush your teeth. It's time for dinner. I still have the habit of saying kids, and I still have, people ask me how many kids you have. Well, I have 2. I just can't get used to saying I only have 1 child now.
Happy birthday, dear Amber.
Let's make a wish and let's blow it out. Want to blow it out for Amber? One.
Birthday to you. We love you, baby.
When I hear the Amber Alert and I hear the child is back reunited to their parents, I look up to heaven and say, oh, you did it again, baby girl. This guy, he stole her life from her. He stole her from me, and he tortured her. He brutally butchered my little girl, and I want him caught. I want him behind bars. I don't want him here on this earth.
What has this person taken from your family?
My best friend. Yeah, she was my best friend.
Even today, I hand these reward posters out to anybody and everybody that would take one. I really, really want her to have justice. She deserves it. I'm not going to give up. We can't see each other, we can't touch each other, but I just want to let her know that I'm still here for her. I won't forget her ever, ever.
Sorry. See what happens when you try to make your older kids feel better. They're evil, especially when they're in a bad mood. So yeah, this little lady here, Miss Amber, is the reason we have an Amber Alert.
Good evening, everybody. This is Laura.
Pause this. Sorry. It's a website, so it's going to continue to play the suggested videos, but I only had a couple picked out that I wanted to use for this, and you guys are, like, as always, more than welcome to go and take the links. And I love you too, bub. Take the links and do the legwork and check it out. But I do want to read you guys what I was able to find here. Froze. Nope. But I didn't know my head was up there though. My crazy looking hair. Okay, so 9-year-old Amber Hagerman was found murdered after being abducted 4 days earlier. Love you again. Sorry. After being abducted 4 days earlier, her murder remains unsolved. This is a story in the legacy that she leaves behind. And the credit of this does go to David Karajak, and I'm sorry if I butcher your name. I am from Kentucky, and some of these names are, you guys couldn't understand if you saw some of the city names where I'm from. Okay, so more than 10 years later, Glenda Whitson recalls every second of the 8 minutes. And you guys just heard her say 7 minutes, so 7 minutes, 8 minutes. That changed her family's life. It began with a visit from her grandchildren, Amber Hagerman, 9, and her brother Ricky, 5. They stopped at the Whitson, Arlington, Texas home with their mother Donna at about 3 in the afternoon on a Saturday, January 12, 1996. Whitson's husband Jimmy was tinkering with the car out front. He passed to say hello to Amber, an auburn-haired cutie who loved Burger King, Barbie dolls, and America the Beautiful. For the line mentioned her name, Amber Waves of Grain. Jimmy Whitson kept 2 bicycles at the house for the grandkids, and Amber and Ricky asked if they could go for a quick ride on a sunny winter day. My husband and my daughter said okay, but just go once around the block, Glenda Whitson told Crime Library. They pedaled around 2 corners of the parking lot of a Winn-Dixie grocery store and then been closed for some time. Neighborhood kids enjoyed riding on the ramp there. As the children went off, no adult gave a second thought. He, the Whitsons, had lived there on Highland Drive in Arlington Highland Park Addition since 1975. The children's mother had ridden her bicycle on the same streets when she was growing up. Arlington had changed in those 21 years, of course, part of the vast Dallas, Texas, Fort Worth metroplex. Its population was nearly doubled since the Whitsons moved in. But the parking lot where Amber and Ricky had headed were on a busy East Abrams Street, just down the block from a vast General Motors plant. The spot was far from isolated and was broad daylight. They rode over there and they went down the ramp. Miss Whitson said. Ricky told his sister, I'm going back home because Mama told us just to ride around the block. So he rode back here and my husband asked him, where's Sissy? He said she stayed for one more ride on the ramp. So they sent him back to her. Ricky Hagerman left, returned 1 or 2 minutes later and said, I can't find Sissy. Jimmy Whitson jumped in his truck and sped to the parking lot. He spotted a police car there and pulled up on it. The officer told Whitson that a man who lived nearby had heard screaming and saw a man carry a young girl into a pickup truck. The witness called 911. The officer raced to the scene just moments later, but all he found was a bicycle. Jimmy Whitson's heart sank. He said, "That's my granddaughter's bike," and recounting the series of events 10.5 years earlier. Jimmy Whitson's wife let out a long sigh. "That was it," she said. 8 minutes, the time she rode away with her bicycle until the man called 911. People have to know that is how fast these things can happen. The abduction of Amber Hagerman in Arlington was followed by a sad taboo that was become familiar in modern America. Loved ones. The girl appeared on television to beg for her safe return. The girl's loved ones. I apologize. To beg for her safe return. "Please don't hurt my baby," the children's mother cried. "She's just an innocent child. Please, please bring her home safe." The media interviewed the lone witness, Jim Keble, who had called 911 after hearing Amber's screams. "I saw her riding up and down the vacant lot," he told reporters. "She was by herself. I saw this pickup." He pulled up, jumped out, grabbed her. When she screamed, "I figured police ought to know about it. I called them. I wish I'd known more. I'd done all I could do." Kevin describes the man as not big, but very fast. He was white or Hispanic, and his truck was dark, but he was too far to give much more detail. Police theorize a stranger abduction. In a typical year, 750,000 American children are reported missing, according to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. The vast majority are runaways or family abductions. Roughly 100 stranger abductions of the children reported each year, 1 every 3 to 4 days on average. But stranger abductions are the more troubling category of missing children because 9 out of 10 victims are female. Half of sexually assaulted, and 3 out of 4 are killed within 3 hours. In those cases, every moment following the abduction is critical. The truck driven by Amber Hagerman's abductor was seen outside the laundromat near the Winn-Dixie Plaza before the girl was snatched. Police theorized it was a impetus crime of opportunity, since Amber had established no pattern of riding her bicycle there at that time of day. Guys, I'm gonna get a drink real quick. I'm just like, sound like I can't read, but I'm actually my damn mouth's dry. Because I smoke too much. The man likely watched Amber and Ricky ride into the parking lot together. He pounced on the girl just moments after her brother left to ride back to his grandparents' home. Eyewitnesses Keble said he watched the man drive west out of the parking lot and disappear. The abduction was front-page news in Texas. Police were hopeful that the witnesses would step forward, perhaps someone who had seen the feisty girl struggling with her abductor as he tried to drive. Police and the FBI formed a special task force to investigate, and the girl's smiling image became an imprint in the Dallas Metroplex. Coincidentally, a local TV station had been working on a story about Donna Hagerman's struggle to get off welfare, and the station released a videotape of the girl to other media outlets. Her image became so widely known during the investigation that the local police chief would later call Amber Arlington's child. But the investigation would have no happy ending. No additional witnesses were found, and the pleas for Amber's loved ones went unheard. For days after the abduction, a man walking his dog spotted Amber's naked body in a creek bed near the apartment complex in the north of Arlington. The girl's throat had been slit. 3 weeks after the abduction, authorities released a psychological profile hoping to smoke out the killer. The profile suggested the man was at least 25, lived or worked near the spot where he dumped Amber. Authorities revealed the girl was alive for 2 full days after she was abducted, which likely meant the crime scene was with physical evidence somewhere there in the Dallas area. Police theorized that something caused the killer to snap, and an argument with a loved one, a rancorous, I don't know what the hell that's supposed to mean, domestic dispute, or the loss of a job. They said the killer's personality or experience might have changed as a result of trauma. As Arlington police spokesman put on it, our hope is that someone out there will hear this and they will think, gee, that sounds like someone I know. Plenty of people had that reaction, pursued some over 5,500 leads, but none led to the killer. In the summer of 1997, after investigating more than 1 million of Amber Hagerman's investigation, Arlington police disbanded the task force. The murder remains an open investigation, but the girl's grandmother said her hope is flagrant. They don't really have much to go on. Sorry guys, I'm going to scroll up, lost my place. It's notes I took. They don't really have much to go on. A few fibers they have found on her body, they tell us, said Amber's grandma. They're still working on it. They call us now and then. They say they'll never give up. After 10 years, you lose hope that they'll ever find him. But I still have a little bit of hope. Miss Whitson, 65. And you got to keep in mind, this was an old article. But it had a lot of good information. That's the reason why I snagged this article. She said prayers, the killer is caught in her lifetime. It won't bring her back, but at least I will know that he got what he had coming to him, she said. In the meantime, Amber's loved one takes solace in her legacy. After the murder, a Dallas man asked a common sense question. When a Dallas child is abducted and each minute matters, why can't the police and the media get together and inform the public of the same urgency and say a weather warning or a tornado or a hurricane? Radio and television exclusives in the Metroplex adopted the idea, and the Dallas Amber Plan was initiated in July of 1997. Under the plan, police provided broadcasters with timely information about abductions and in photos and descriptions so the word could spread immediately to the public. 16 months later, the Amber Plan... I'm sorry, guys. Shit, I can't read or scrub. The Amber Plan proved its worth. Sandra Falls, a babysitter with a drug problem, disappeared with an 8-week-old child, and an alert went out. And the Falls was apprehended within 90 minutes with the driver who had alerted the woman's truck. The child was safely returned to Houston, set up its own Amber Plan in 2000, with 2 years later Texas Institute with the statewide Amber Alert. The same year, the U.S. Justice Department began coordinating the program for the states and the cities. Today, all 50 states and hundreds of cities for Amber Alert plans. By now, the government's count of some 240 children have been recovered due to, and again, this is an old article, so the number may vary from 240. Children have been recorded due to the least in the part of Amber Alerts. Glenda Whitson said that she has always stopped cold when she hears her granddaughter's name on TV or radio. My heart drops down to my shoes, she says, because I just know what those people, the parents, are going through. She calls the Amber Alert system the right legacy for her granddaughter. It feels good when some child is brought home with our baby's help, says Miss Watson. You can just look up to heaven and say, you did it again, baby. Of course, I know sometimes it doesn't turn out good, but the Amber Alert gives them something more to go on. It is to go on from the very start. And I totally agree with that. But guys, I wrote something else that I really wanted to share with you guys. That was kind of like an in my opinion kind of thing. And I do agree that Amber Alert is an amazing tool brought to us in the United States in 1997 from a horrific event. This child was abducted and murdered 4 days later. The thought of loved ones behind the memory is heartfelt. These are the things that I wanted to discuss as part of this video as well, just for awareness, and those that follow my channel do know that I do like to bring awareness, and you guys can go check this on the internet and verify that it is true information. A vehicle description is one of the suggested guidelines that's been placed on the Amber Alert system. A description of the perpetrator. Children that are under the age of 17 are eligible to have an Amber Alert, and they're not always possible to get a child abduction because it's not something that's planned. So all your abductions don't get an Amber Alert. That's something important to keep in mind. It's regulated by what the state's guidelines that have been placed on the Amber Alert system. In older children, they are more to be deemed as runaways, and in my opinion, that is sad. Human trafficking is a real issue here in the United States, and all teenagers are not just runaways. All cases are different. Cases go cold because people don't want to speak. We're so scared we may offend someone or get sued over helping someone. People are so quiet, the abusers and abductors go free. In cases that law enforcement is reached out to, you have overworked and underpaid law enforcement. And for those that don't realize, CPS is a former branch of the police. Amber's story is heartbreaking, the most to me because it took until the year my oldest son was born for someone to say that our children was important as our weather. In the world we live in now, and due to the pandemic, we live on YouTube and social media, so a lot of these dark cases are getting looked up and getting seen and shared and brought to the light. I felt it was important to bring Amber's name out into the light again and share the updates provided through the news and through the other people that have done investigations, that have done the articles and the couple of videos that we did watch. And like I said, I will drop their links. I'm not an investigator, nor have I said I was an investigator. I am not media, nor have I said I'm media. By any means, I'm a mom and a survivor, and I'm here to help in any way I can through my pain. So I did feel like it was important because a lot of times in chat I do see people that don't know exactly where the Amber Alert came from. So that was my awareness story on Miss Amber Hagerman and how the Amber Alert came to us from a very